Ah, bollocks.
Alright guys, welcome to this week's Friday Waffle. Coming to you at about 6 o'clock on Friday. Bloody hell, where did I start? It's been quite a day for anyone who lives in the UK. As you're probably aware, we had our referendum vote whether to leave the EU or not, and rather surprisingly we chose to leave. What do I think of that? I'll be honest, I'll get it right out there, I voted to leave. Now, I'm really not a political type person. I really don't get involved in politics. I tend to think that most politics or politicians, they tell lies, they've all got their own agendas. I really don't do politics at all. Now, in the run up to this thing, it's just been scaremongering. I've never heard anything positive about why you should vote one way. All I've heard is why you shouldn't vote for one. So it's all been, the Leave campaign, all they've been doing is slagging off the Stay campaign and vice versa. It's been scaremongering. And, don't get me wrong, I think the UK's not a bad country to live in. Yeah, there's certain things that have probably been going on the last while that I'm not happy about. I'm not going to go get into details because I'm not a political type person. I don't want to start any kind of arguments on YouTube. But the thing that kind of sold it for me was, this Mr Farage telling us that we currently spend £350 million a week. We pay that into the EU, and that is going to go directly into national health. So there's that, and there's a few other bits and pieces. So when I actually went up to, I was actually, believe it or not, I was actually borderline not even going to bother voting. My wife, she tends not to vote, and I know that gets a lot of people pissed off because we've earned the right, but I was really kind of neither here nor there. But I decided, well, you know what, there's people posting, you need to vote, and I thought, well, yeah, I should do. So I went up, and you know what, it was literally, I could have quite easily put Stay, but I chose Leave. As it turns out, that wouldn't have made, if I had put Stay I should say, it wouldn't have made any difference to Scotland. As you may have noticed, 100% of the, I think it's 37 seats, or not seats, areas, constituencies, whatever it is, in the UK, in Britain, sorry, and Scotland I should say, Scotland unanimously decided that they wanted to remain in the EU. But because virtually all of England decided to leave, it ended up obviously a 52% leave, so we're all going whether we like it or not. I've been looking at Facebook at lunchtime, and there's been a lot of scare stories, and I don't mind admitting I've been a wee bit in a sort of downer today just because of that. I had a shit day at work, but I'm not even going to bother going into that. I've been thinking, I'm thinking, did I make the right choice? I probably, in hindsight, I would have probably stuck with Remain, but I didn't. But as I say, as it turns out, my vote didn't make any difference. My area, in fact Scotland, voted to Stay. But it's worrying times. There's, because of social media, as we all know, anything that happens, it's blown out of proportion in social media, and the same thing's happening here. The number of scare stories, this is going to happen, the pound's going to tumble, inflation's going to go through the roof, the mortgage rates are going to go up, companies are going to pull out of the UK. My company, the company I work for, they've already issued a "Don't panic, Mr Mannering, we are going nowhere." That immediately makes you panic. But yeah, it's a bit of it's unknown at the moment. I think we need to all just kind of calm down and do our best and see what happens. There's plenty of other countries that aren't part of the EU and they're managing quite happily. The one thing I do kind of get is, I think a lot of the people that chose and I'm not saying everybody, but I think the largest chunk of people who chose to leave were probably the older generation. I mean, my mum and dad, God bless them, they're not here anymore, but I reckon they would have probably both chose to leave. Now the thing is, with older people like that, they're choosing something that probably won't really affect them in any shape or form. I mean, there's people probably who've voted to leave that might not even be alive in a couple of years' time. You know, so they're not going to get to experience it. The thing that kind of upsets me slightly is, from what I gather, looking at the various polls and the sort of stats, the younger generation, the people that have still got 60, 70 years to live, these are the ones they wanted to remain where they are, but we as a country have chosen to leave, and it's going to be our kids and our kids' kids that are going to, you know, reap the rewards or pay the consequences. I don't know. So it's, yeah, it's quite bizarre. A few folk have said they kind of half expect to wake up and realise that it's just been a bad dream. I'm a bit like that as well. It's kind of a bit strange to kind of think that we're no longer part of Europe, and like I said, it's an unknown thing. We don't know where we're going to end up. I'm not overly keen on Mr. Farage, to be honest with you, and yeah, who knows. Anyway, I'm going to stop it there. I don't want this to get a political debate, but I couldn't not mention it. It's probably the biggest thing to affect my country that's happened in my lifetime, so it would have been daft not to mention it. But anyway, it's I'll try and be a bit more upbeat with the rest of the stuff I'm going to talk about. What have I been up to apart from having a shit week at work? As you can probably tell, I've shaved my head because I don't like the hair getting too long. Kept the beard, kind of starting to grow attached to it, no pun intended. I'm just back a run, hence the reason I've got this top on and I'm stinky because I need to go and have a shower. I discovered, or someday when I was away at the weekend on my West Highland Way, in fact I never mentioned that actually, I was away all week last weekend on my West Highland Way running expedition. Now it wasn't me that was running, it was my mate E. He's Chinese. He managed to get round in just under 31 hours. Absolutely amazing weekend. I mean, it was a fantastic weekend. It kicked off at 1 o'clock Saturday morning and didn't get home until, when was it, Monday afternoon. So it was an amazing weekend. It's always brilliant fun. It's tiring, but it's, you know, the people you meet, it's just a phenomenal time. And it's a bit of an anticlimax to come back from such a special weekend where it's just based around running and, you know, people's achievements, and then you come back and you've got all this EU doom and gloom. But yeah, I was telling one of the girls when I was away about my problems with my breathing, and she seemed to think that I've got asthma. You get what's called exercise related asthma, and it's basically when you exercise you get what kind of feels like asthmatic sort of asthmatic condition, where basically the tubes in your lungs narrow, they become inflamed and it makes it difficult to breathe. But anyway, she told me to take, I've got one of the blue puffer things which I just flung into a drawer when I got it last year, but she told me to try that before I went out a run. So I've tried that 3 times this week, and I've got to say the running's been a lot better. So early days, but I'm fingers crossed it's possibly going to solve my problem, because I really want to get, I don't like the fact I'm getting a bit fatter looking, and you know, I miss the running anyway, so I want to get back to that. So yeah, that's been that. So gaming wise, have I been doing anything this week? I showed you my little arcade cab. Well, I've got it here again. I can lift it up. Got to say, I love this bad boy to bits. You can see the size of it. Yeah, love this to bits. I think I've solved the sound problem. I've still got the wee mobile phone charger in, which is then plugged into the actual unit, and it seems to be working okay. I have redone all the black gaffer tape around the screen, and I've also put some tape around the bottom of it as well, so I think it looks quite funky. And I've got to say, love it to bits. It plays really well. It's just as good as playing a full-size cab. I mean, the controls are absolutely sublime. So I've asked my mate Mike if he would knock together a Defender stick. It's basically got the keys in the right place, so he's going to do that for me, because I mean, Mike's control panels are just the best there is. But gaming wise, have I been doing anything? I've been playing a bit of Berserk. I've been playing that thing. Been making a few videos. I was conscious of not getting many videos out the last couple of weeks, so anything else? Not really. Not been playing my 360. I've not been playing my PS4, my Xbox One. No, I've not played much at all this week. Just had other stuff going on. So anyway, listen, I'm going to batter on. I have got some nice tasty questions. Thank you very much to everybody who's sent them in. Retrohawk, now I do apologise, you did give me this question the week before, I think it was, and I completely missed it. Sometimes it's, it's easy, you get a lot of comments, it's easy to miss it. But anyway, great chat as always, thank you very much. I posted this a few weeks ago, you must have missed it. Question for next week's waffle. What is your opinion on gaming aids like Game Genie or in-the-game cheats? Do you ever use them to finish a game, or do you prefer to slug it out even if a game is too hard and you may never see the ending? That's a good point. I mean, when you're paying money for a game, if you're paying 30, 40 quid for a game, the last thing you want to do is just use a cheat mode to get through it. Saying that, I've got a couple of games. I'm looking at, is it Killzone, I think it is. There's a few games that I've bought in the past and I just cannot for the life of me. Is it Bioshock Infinite, I think it was as well. I cannot for the life of me get past a certain level. I'm really almost at the end, but it's got to a point where it's no longer entertaining. You know, you play this level for maybe 20 minutes, then you die, then you start again, you play it for 20 minutes, then you die. I'm at the point now I really don't want to play the game anymore, and I would absolutely love to be able to put a code in to get infinite energy, or unlimited ammo, something like that, because I want to complete the game. I really can't be arsed going back in and trying to play it properly, because I've tried it so many times, and because you've got to put so much time into it, get to a certain point and you die, I simply can't be bothered with that. So it would be nice if games did have cheat modes. I have kind of looked on Google to see if I can find cheat modes for some games, and it seems that like modern consoles don't have cheat modes. I mean, back in the day in the Mega Drive and the SNES and like PlayStation, and I dare say maybe even the PlayStation 2, you always had, you could type in codes or whatever it was to get cheats, but I've never actually found any cheat modes for up-to-date consoles. What you might find is you've got to complete the game, then it will give you access to a new gun or something, but I've never been able to find an actual cheat mode where you can like press, up, down, left, right, A, B, X, Y, something like that. You just don't seem to get these anymore in modern games, but I would absolutely like to have the choice. It's my game, I've paid money for it, I want to see the end of it, and if I'm really struggling, then I would like to be able to have an option to put in a cheat mode. So I'm absolutely for these things. I don't know, do you actually get these sort of like action replay cartridges for modern consoles? I wouldn't think so, because it's all disc and digital downloads, so I'm not too sure, but absolutely I'm 100% for them, because like I said, you've paid the money to see the game, and if you get to a point where you simply can't get past it, then I reserve the right to cheat. Yeah, that's that one. So listen, thanks for the question, buddy. That's excellent as always. Mr. Down the Rabbit Hole, before I forget, Kev is actually coming across to he got in just in time. He's coming across to the UK next month, I think it is. Kev, you're coming, and he is going to be coming up to Scotland for 1 day. Now apparently he's going to be here a month and he's only spending 1 day in Scotland. What are you thinking about? Scotland is a beautiful country. I stand by, we've got the best scenery bar none. Head up north, go up to Fort William, up to Glencoe, you've got the most gorgeous scenery ever. But Kev's going to be coming across for a day, sort of middle of July. So I'm going to be tying up with him, so you never know, you might get a live Down the Rabbit Hole, a bleak Mamemeister video. We'll see what we can do, we'll see what we can wrangle. But anyway, for the Friday Waffle, hi Alan. I believe you wanted more questions and topics to discuss. Absolutely, Kev. How about these? For those of us not in the UK, can you talk a bit about that rare computer you got a few months ago? I think it was called the Dragon. I got a few computers fairly recently. Well, I'm saying fairly recently, maybe about a year ago. I did get the Sword S5? Is it S5? I can't remember. It's a Japanese computer. I got that maybe over a year ago. The one I think you're thinking of, as you rightly mentioned, is the Dragon 32. Now, the Dragon was a machine that was released sort of 1983, round about the same time as all the other computers. I mean, if you watch my Mamemeister and Chums talk pish, Neil and myself were looking at all the different computers. We were kind of talking about the different computers that were available. Excuse me. Oh, burpees. Excuse me. And the Dragon 32, it was released by a Welsh company, funnily enough, being a Welsh Dragon. It was, you know, it was obviously to rival the Spectrum, the Commodore 64. You know, there was a lot of computers that came out all around about the same time. It kind of flopped because I think it had kind of limited graphic ability. The ZX Spectrum was the big seller in the UK. It was dirt cheap. It was the first computer to go sub £100 for a, you know, it had colour. It had 48k of memory. So the Spectrum absolutely annihilated everybody else in the sort of UK market until the Commodore 64 came along, and it kind of took, I don't know what the market share, I'm guessing maybe, I don't know, 45% to the sort of Spectrum's 55. But yeah, there was a lot of computers, Kev, that came out back then, sort of 83, 84, the Dragon 32 being one of them. It wasn't a particularly, it didn't excel at any one thing, and I don't think it sold that many, so it you know, it didn't have a very long sort of shelf life. Yeah, shelf life is the right phrase I'm looking for. It's a computer that I'd never owned before. I tell a lie, I did actually own one a couple of years ago, and it went straight in the loft, a bit like the one I've got now. And I had an opportunity to get a +2 Spectrum for it, so I swapped it with my mate. But I got that one, the one I showed you recently, I got that for about 20 quid. But I'll do a Mamemeister look at. I don't have any games or anything for it, but just for you, Kev, I shall do a Mamemeister look at and give you a bit more information. But yeah, it wasn't a particularly successful computer, but I like having these things. You know, it's nice to be able to look back at them. You know, so yeah, that is that one. You did a look at for the Atari Jaguar quite a long time ago. Do you still play it? Am I missing out not owning one? I'm looking at my Jaguar games. The answer to your second question is probably not. The Jaguar was one of these machines. It was touted as the first 64-bit console. It was super powerful. Almost, I think it was the last machine the Atari released. And for whatever reason, I think it was kind of overpriced. It just died in its feet. It really did. There weren't many games. I don't know how many games I've got. 1, 2, 3. I've got maybe 10 games or so that was released for it. It's generally regarded that the best game for the Jaguar was Jeff Minter's Tempest 2000, I think it's called. I think it's called Tempest 2000. That's generally regarded as the best game. Now, it is a good game, but that tells you its own story. Tempest is an old type of game, you know, it's a remake. Really, there was nothing, there was a few a lot of the games, I have to say, are pretty pish. It's one of these machines that, again, it's, what's the word for it? It's a quirky system, you know, I wanted to see what it was about. It's not a particularly good machine. I mean, I think the machine itself is okay. I mean, it's not bad. I think they had, what was it? What, Marines, Aliens versus Predator versus Marines, something like that, which is pretty good. I mean, I think it got released on the PlayStation. But yeah, the games weren't that good. I mean, there were some games that were absolutely diabolical. It's famously got a beat 'em up where there's a guy, a Scottish guy, he's got ginger hair and he wears a kilt. and he plays the bagpipes when he beats you. But aye, there's really not many games. There's not many games for it, and I think most of the games are pretty awful. So no, you're not missing anything not actually owning one. I like the fact I've got it. You know, I like these kind of machines that nobody really wants to play. But in answer to your first question, do I play it very much? No. So, okay, you're not missing anything by having it. The side art on your retro pie cab is Space Invaders. Did you choose that because of the game's historical significance, or did you just like the art? I'm surprised you didn't go with Berserk. You know what, Kev, I never even, when I was one to pick, I didn't want to have, some people have like generic MAME, you know, lots of different logos on it. I wanted to actually have a proper game in it. And to be honest, I didn't even think about Berserk. I'm not familiar with the Berserk. I know what the marquee looks like. It's kind of yellow, right? I think, but I'm not familiar with the actual side art to Berserk. And as much as I love Berserk, I says it wasn't a game that crossed my mind. The most iconic. It was a toss-up between Galaxy and Space Invaders, and I just went for Space Invaders. I mean, you know, let's get this thing up again, if I can, without dropping it. What's the chances of holding an arcade cab in your hand like that? Yeah, it's just got, you know, this artwork here is absolutely iconic. I mean, I can remember seeing that artwork, you know, in the sports centre in Craigshill when I was about 10 years old, and I was more than 10. It's iconic, you know. It was the first arcade machine I ever got to play Space Invaders, and it was just incredible. It was so exciting, you know. I never ever imagined that I would be playing a little miniature cabinet and playing the actual game. I think I'll never get tired of it. I say it's iconic, it really is, so that's why I went for that, Cave. But yeah, there's quite a few. I mean, I could have went for Robotron, which I've got up there, you know, Galaxy and Missile Command, but I wanted one. I didn't want to go for anything too kind of nichey, because then I thought I'll probably end up thinking, oh, why did I buy that? I should have got a different one. So I went for Space Invaders because I don't think I'll ever get fed up with it. It's the most iconic one, as far as I'm concerned. So, okay, moving on. You have several handhelds in your collection. Ha! You having a laugh? Let me have a look at my handhelds. That's one of the systems that is one of these things that I tend to overlook. Let me have a look at all the systems I've got here. Just talk amongst yourselves. You stay there. Yep. Try not to stand on any dogs. Right. I've got that. And I've got that. That's it, I think. I've got a couple of these wee LCD handhelds, but I'm not going to bother including them. Right, okay. PS Vita, Game Boy SP, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS Lite, one off, PSP, what's it called? Go, PSP Go, lovely little machine. It's a little flip up screen thing. That's really, really nice. Another Game Boy Advance with the really good screen, like the one you've got, Kev. Original Game Boy with the light, which is fantastic. The rather obscure Pandora, which I was going to sell, and Mark Lactobacillus Prime persuaded me not to. Game Boy Micro, love that to bits, lovely little machine. The GPD-XD, yeah, that's what it's called. Brilliant, fantastic machine. And lastly, my 3DS XL, the new one with the kind of better camera. So I've got all these consoles. Do I play them? Probably not as much as I should. I'll just put them on the floor so I don't drop them. I do play the GPD-XD quite a lot. Some days I'm wanting to play, you know, late at night, 10 minutes before my bed, fancy a quick game of Donkey Kong, I'll load up that. I do play the GPD, I do play that quite a bit as well. I charged up the PS Vita last week. Hadn't used that in probably 6 months. That's probably a machine I don't use. I don't know why I bought it, to be honest with you. I do play Tetris on this now and again. That's definitely my favourite way to play Tetris. Don't use the... I've got quite a few games for my 3DS, and I've got to say I don't play it that often. I really don't. My daughter uses it more than me. Love this. As far as Game Boys go, the Game Boy, does this still work? This is the one you see featured in my intro all the time. This is beautiful. This is an amazing console. It's got the is it the AGS 101 or something screen. It's a Game Boy SP screen put in it. That's really nice. I do play that sometimes as well, but the two that I play most of all is my GPD-XD and the Game Boy SP, I think I said. Yeah, Game Boy SP. They're probably the two I use most of all, but I don't use them that much. But you know what it's like, Kev, when you've got 100 different machines, trying to decide what to use is always difficult. So that is all your questions. Thanks for that, Kev. That is fantastic. Really, really good. And the last question I've got is a chap, Mr. Ben Dust. For the Friday Waffle, hi Alan, I'm completely new to the world of emulation. What's the state of emulation for systems like the PS2, GameCube, Saturn and Dreamcast? I've looked on YouTube and it appears they're struggling to create emulation that runs smoothly for these systems. Also, do you need to pay for emulators to get the best, or are the free ones usually okay? Firstly, Ben, thank you very much for the question. I've got to say I don't really play emulators. I don't really emulate these machines that much, for the simple reason as I've got a Dreamcast, I've got a PS2, I've got a GameCube, I've got a Saturn. I've got all these machines, so I don't see the point in emulating them. The second thing is obviously the games themselves take up quite a bit of space, so if you want to play a game in it, you've got to download the ROM and that kind of thing. There's a emulator called the Dolphin emulator for the GameCube. Now when I got my new computer about a year ago, it's not super powerful. It plays games absolutely flawlessly. That's the GameCube, Nintendo GameCube. Games play perfectly on it. Dreamcast, I believe, I've not played any emulators for a while. There are quite a few for the Dreamcast out there. And if I can remember, I think they all play pretty well. I think if you've got a machine, a PC that you've bought in the last maybe 2-3 years with sort of decent enough graphics card, you'll find it will play them really, really well. I did try the PS2 maybe a year ago when I got the new computer, and it played pretty well, but the thing is the emulation in some of these systems just isn't that good. GameCube is flawless as far as I can see. Dreamcast is pretty flawless. The brief shot I had in the PS2 one, it was pretty good, but again there was a couple of things, the controllers weren't quite right. I've got a PS2 sitting there, why would I want to play it and thingy? So I'm probably not the best person to advise, Ben, but Google it, have a look on YouTube and see what's what. But as far as paying, the last one, the Sega Saturn, I've got to say I've never ever tried to emulate the Saturn, and the odd time I have looked for emulators, I've never been successful to get it to run. So I don't know whether it's slightly trickier to actually run. It's always been a machine that's been tricky to run on anything kind of thing. So yes. Right, lastly, sorry, I thought I heard somebody at the door there, so I'm pausing. As far as paying for them, in all the time that I've been playing emulators for probably, God almighty, probably 17, 18 years. I've never had to buy an emulator. Certainly on the PC, you should never pay for an emulator. I've never heard anybody trying to sell one. They're always free. The only time I've bought emulators is if you've got an Android device like the GPD-XD, any Android device. There are emulators called, it's a chap called Robert Bruglia or Brugia, something like that. His emulators, they all end in MU, so you've got like Genesis.mu, SNES, c64.mu, c64.mu. Just go into the Play Store and type .mu. All these emulators by Robert, they're fantastic. They all have the same front end. They're all awesome. They get updated once a month. I mean, they're absolutely fantastic. Now, I think the most expensive one I've bought was probably £2, £2-3. Some of them are even less than that. I think the SNES one actually is completely free, but that's the only ones I've ever bought, and I would absolutely say you buy them because it's worth it. You can get free versions that have got adverts and that kind of stuff, but for £2-3, you know, support the guy. These people make these emulators for absolutely nothing. So no, I certainly wouldn't go giving money to anybody. I mean, I mentioned about there was a company trying to sell the RetroPie with a Pi 3. In fact, I was looking at their advert today or yesterday, I think it was, and they're actually selling the SD card for £29.99 with RetroPie in it, and yet they've put all the games in it. So they are basically, what they've done is they've downloaded all the games, created an image, and they're basically taking £30 off people to write the image on an SD card. I think that's just taking the piss. So that's where I stand as far as ROMs. And ROMs and emulators, you know, these things are all done out of the goodness of people's hearts. I would never ever pay anybody for something like that, apart from the Android ones, because these ones are just sublime. It's one guy that makes them. But just Google it. There's you know, there's tons of emulators out there. Go into YouTube and see what's what. But just try them and see what works for you, Ben. So that is it. Thank you very much for your question. But that is it, guys. I am stinking. I mean, it looks like the two dogs have passed out with my smell. I'm going to go and jump in the shower before the wife gets back from Manchester. I hope you all have a nice weekend. Hopefully things will settle down in this EU thing, because it's all a bit doom and gloom and misery at the moment, so hopefully things will settle down for that. But as usual, thank you very much to the continual support in my channel. It always amazes me. Thanks for the feedback, thanks for the comments, thank you for the ideas, the questions for my channel. Please keep them coming. Like I said, if there's a company you want to see me do They Did War, or there's a particular game you want to see me do an Arcade Perfect, just pop it below. Anything at all, game related, not game related, put it in the comments below and I shall do my best to talk about it next week. So that is it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching.